Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. Today I want to talk about Donald Sterling. He's the owner of the Clippers basketball team. He's been in the news lately because of racist statements that he made about African Americans. I want to show you clips from TMZ and then I'm going to provide my commentary on the other side.
Honey, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry too.
I wish I can change the color of my skin.
That isn't the issue. You missed the issue.
What's the issue?
The issue is we don't have to broadcast it.
I'm not broadcasting anything. I don't do anything wrong.
Nobody said you did anything wrong.
I don't do anything wrong. If we ever have any issues, it's because people call you and tell you things about me that are not
Why are
true.
you broadcasting?
I'm not broadcasting
Why are you
anything.
taking pictures with minorities? Why?
What's wrong with minorities? What's wrong with black people?
Nothing.
What's wrong with
It's like
Hispanics?
talking to an enemy. There's nothing wrong with minorities. They're fabulous. Fabulous. Because you're an enemy to me.
Why?
Because you don't understand.
I don't understand what.
Nothing.
That racism still is alive?
No, but there's a culture.
What culture?
People steal certain things. Hispanics steal certain things towards blacks. Blacks steal certain things towards other groups. It's been that way historically, and it will always be that way.
But it's not that way in my heart and in my mind.
But maybe you want to adjust to the world.
But why? If the world doesn't do anything for me and they don't make me happy.
You're right. I don't want to argue with you. I don't want to argue.
I can't be racist in my heart.
And that's good. I'm living in a culture, and I have to live within the culture. So that's the way it is. That's how I got it. I got the whole message. You live with your heart.
I don't.
You can't be flexible. You can.
I am flexible. I understand that that's the way you were raised and that's your culture, and I'm respectful and
Why do you have to disrespect them? Those are.
Who am I disrespecting?
The world before you.
Why am I disrespecting them?
By walking, you're perceived as either a Latina or a white girl. Why should you be walking publicly with black people? Why? Is there a benefit to you?
Is it a benefit to me? Does it matter if they're white or blue or yellow?
I guess that you don't know that. Maybe you're stupid. Maybe you don't know what people think of you. It does matter, yeah. It matters.
Do you know that I'm mixed?
No, I don't know.
You know that I'm mixed.
You told me you were going to remove those. You said, yes, I understand you. I mean, you change from day to day. Wow. So painful. Wow.
People call you and tell you that I have black people on my Instagram, and it bothers you.
Yeah, it bothers me a lot that you want to broadcast that you're associating with black people. Do you have to?
You associate with black people.
I'm not you and you're not me. You're supposed to be a delicate white or a delicate Latina girl.
I'm a mixed girl.
Okay. Well, but
and you're in love with me. And I'm black and Mexican, whether you like it or not,
okay.
Whether the world accepts it or not. And you're asking me to remove something that's part of me and in my bloodstream because the world thinks different of me and you're afraid of what they're going to think because of your upbringing. You want me to have hate towards black people?
I don't want you to hate. That's what people do. They turn things around. I want you to love them privately. In your whole life, every day you could be with them. Every single day of your life.
But not in public?
But why publicize it on the Instagram and why bring it to my games?
Why bring the black people to the games?
I really don't want to discuss anymore. It's over. I don't want to talk about it.
I'm sorry that you feel that way.
I feel that way so strongly, and it may cause our relationship to just break apart. And if it does, it does. It's better to break apart now than to break apart later.
I'm sorry that you still have people around you that are full of racism and hate in their hearts. I'm sorry that you're still racist in your heart. I'm sorry that you live in a world that's still.
How about your whole life? Every day, you could do whatever you want. You could sleep with them, you could bring them in, you could do whatever you want. The little I ask you is not to promote it on that and not to bring them to my games.
I don't bring anyone to the game.
Okay, then. There's nothing to argue about.
I know.
Okay, we got a big problem here. I really don't feel like going anywhere. I don't feel like going to Europe. I don't feel like just going to the whole thing. We got to pay it. If you didn't like someone that I was with, I would stop seeing that person.
I'm sorry, I don't have any more friends. What would you like me to do? Remove the skin color out of my skin?
Is that a real issue, or are you making something up?
I mean, I just don't understand what the issue is.
There's nothing wrong with you or your skin color. Why are you saying these things? To upset me? Okay.
Sweetie, I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry, too. We made a giant mistake, both of us. Everything you say to me is so painful. Do I want you to change the color of your skin? You know how to really hurt somebody. And just, instead of saying, I understand.
I don't understand how you can have so much hate towards minorities.
I don't have any hate. I love them.
I cannot understand
Why would you say
how a person like you who's elevated, who's here, still feels above the world, and you can't even be seen with someone in which is considered of a different skin
They
color.
can be with me all day long, all night long.
I can't believe that a man who's educated, a man who's a scholar, a man
Well,
who's...
believe it and stop talking about it. Let's finish our discussion with a period, okay? You're not making any good points. You can't believe this man. That's all I am. I'm not a good person in your eyes. If I was a good person, you wouldn't say, I can't believe this. I can't believe that.
What am I
Which
supposed
are all
to
lies.
say?
I love this.
Look at all this negativity coming from...
There's no negativity. I love everybody. I'm just saying, in your lousy Instagrams, you don't have to have yourself with walking with black people. You don't have to. If you want to, do it.
If it's white people, it's okay? If it was Larry Bird, would it have made a difference?
You're just a big fighter. I could see who would want to live with a woman like you. Who would want to live with a woman? All you ever wanted to do was fight. You're a born fighter.
I'm sorry that you're mad.
You're in the worst mouth.
Why are you so angry, honey? What's wrong?
Well, why would you bring up Larry Bird? What has he got to do with it? You can walk all night long with your sisters or your family.
I saw someone I admire. I admire Magic Johnson.
Okay, good.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
He's made a lot of changes for his community, for the world, for the people, for the minorities. He's helped a lot of people.
Why are you forcing this down my throat? I'm finished talking to you. I have nothing more to say.
And I took a picture with someone I admire.
Good.
And he happens to be black, and I'm sorry.
I think it's nice that you admire him. I know him well, and he should be admired. And I'm just saying that it's too bad you can't admire him privately. And during your entire life, your whole life, admire him. Bring him here, feed him, him. I don't care. You can do anything. But don't put him on an Instagram so the world has to see, so they have to call me. And don't bring him into my games, okay?
I don't know him personally.
Please leave me alone. Please, please.
I'm sorry. Is there anything that I can do to make you feel better?
No, you could never make me feel better.
I'm
You're
sorry.
just a fighter and you want to fight.
Okay, so you saw the clips. And basically, what we have here are obvious and blatantly racist statements. This guy basically said that he doesn't want his girlfriend to associate with African Americans in public. He said that he doesn't want her to post pictures on Instagram of her with African Americans. He said that he doesn't want her to bring African Americans to his basketball games. Now, the thing that's so sick about this is a couple of things. Number one, his team is predominantly African American. It is outrageous that a racist like this owns a basketball team. It is sickening. And the whole sport of basketball is an African American dominated sport. And for this man to be an owner in such a sport, to express such contempt for the people who make up the sport. If it wasn't for black people, there wouldn't be any professional basketball right now. All the top players are African American, most of them. Most of the teams are made up of African Americans. And for this man to express these kinds of racist views is sickening and disgusting. It's outrageous. And in addition to that, he made these statements to his girlfriend, who is black and Mexican. She's biracial. So that's important to note as well. And, the NBA, instead of taking action against this man, they said, well, he's entitled to due process. Let's do an investigation before we take any action. Let's investigate before we make any statements against this owner. My question is, what is there to investigate? This man recently issued an apology, and he basically acknowledged that that was his statement, that it wasn't somebody else speaking on that audio tape. He's basically acknowledging that that's his statement. This is outrageous, and an apology is not enough. An apology is just a way to deal with a problem, to avoid the consequences of his actions. That's all the apology is designed to do. It's not a genuine apology. He feels the way he feels. He is a racist, and there's no way around it. There's no dancing around that fact. And action must be taken against this man. And this is not just somebody out there that has an opinion. This man has an impact on people's lives. He has the ability to hire and fire people. And with that power comes responsibility. Somebody like this should not own a team. Action should be taken. And as someone pointed out, I watched an interview on CNN with Mark Lamont. I think that's his name. He was on Don Lemon's show. And he talked about how racists don't have problems interacting with black people on certain levels. And I'm just going to expand on that. Racist people have no problem with the master-servant relationship. They have no problem with the master-slave type of relationship. They don't have any problem with the black people picking their cotton for them. They don't have any problem with a black woman being their bed wench, being their plaything, being their object, their sexual object, the object of their abuse, the object of their rape. They don't have a problem with that. They don't have a problem with black people being their butlers and their maids and their shoe shine boys. They don't have a problem with that. And they don't have a problem with black people playing basketball for them, black people entertaining them, black people making money for them. They don't have a problem with that. But they have a problem treating black people with dignity and respect. They have a problem treating black people equally and fairly. They have a problem with that. And this whole issue is not the first time that this man has been involved with issues of racism. He's been sued for housing discrimination. He talked about how he doesn't want black people living on his property. He said that black people smell and they attract vermin. This is what this man said. He was sued also for employment discrimination. He talked about how he wanted to recruit poor black boys and hire a white head coach from the South. This man is a racist, and there's no way around it. And action must be taken. This is outrageous. This is ridiculous. And the thing is, many people have called for his suspension. But for me, that's not enough. That's not enough. It's damn sure it's not enough. Somebody like that shouldn't be entitled to own a team. Somebody like that shouldn't have the power to determine who's hired and fired. Somebody like that is not worthy to be a part of the NBA. He should be required to forfeit his interest in the team. And the only way that that's going to happen is if the people take action. We must take action. And action starts on the most basic level. And I know that the playoffs are happening right now. People love to be entertained. But it's a time for action now. And I think that the action should come from the basketball players themselves. They should refuse to play basketball for this white racist. They should refuse. And we should support them by not watching their games and not attending their games. We should take that kind of action until that man is no longer the owner of the Clippers. There has to be consequences for racism. Just as when Rush Limbaugh made racist statements about black athletes, he was kicked off of a network. And the same should happen to this man. He should be removed from his ownership. And I know some people will think that that's harsh, but it is not harsh enough. Anytime another group of people is harmed by the actions of a bigot, of a racist, they take action. They take action. Whether it's the Jewish community, the Latino community, or the gay and lesbian community, when their group is offended, they take action. People mobilized against a reality star on that show, Duck Dynasty. They had him temporarily kicked off his show, or the show temporarily suspended because they mobilized. We need to mobilize. We need to demand that those players stand up. And we need to demand that the NBA stand up. It's a shame that something like this would happen. And it's my understanding that this man is Jewish. He's Jewish. He should understand something about discrimination as a Jew. He should have learned something from the Holocaust. He should have learned something from all the anti-Semitism that Jews face in America and around the world. But apparently he did not learn anything. It's time for us to stand up and demand that this man be removed from ownership.